Yeah, I just had to figure out the ratios. Well, we're on our own. Alright, so we've got a whole land to explore. She moves at a decent pace, back and forth. There's a little face. There's her braid swinging back and forth. She's really cute. All right, so we're gonna explore. We're gonna explore. Pretty meadowland. Okay. All right, so here we are, this little bridge. We're gonna take a look around. It's pretty basic. A gentle stream meanders its way through the trees. A rustic stone bridge crosses its path. But we see something neat in the distance there, so we're gonna say, look at the bridge. Adds a bit of charm to this part of the woods. All right. So part of the Adventure's Creed is to look under and behind things. So we're going to say, look under bridge. You kneel down and peer under the bridge. Aha! You have found a small golden ball. You pick it up and carry it with you. And it really is this quiet most of the time. There's no ambient sound effects, so don't worry about that. And we move on. Now, I've played this game a billion times, so I'm going to be able to stream through this pretty quickly, so there's no, like, randomized exploring. Okay. Numerous water lilies float serenely upon the lovely little pond nestled in these woods. Atop one of the bigger lily pads, you notice a rather large frog, wearing a little gold crown. Gosh, I wonder what we're supposed to do with that. You don't want to scare off the frog, so we're avoiding the water. We don't want to get in the water because he'll splash away and run. See, oops, he scared the frog away because I did not stop in time. So I gotta wait. He comes back. There he is. All right. So we're not subtle about this. Just drop the ball. You accidentally drop the golden ball into the pond. From atop a lily pad, a large green frog leaps into the water and disappears from view. A moment later, the frog emerges with, "Yes! Your lost ball in its mouth!" It seems as if the frog is kindly returning your golden ball to you. I move out of the way. And there he is. Cute little frog. Now the trick here is if I pick up the ball, he'll go back in the water, and I don't want that to happen. I want to be able to smooch this little frog. So all right, squinching up your nose in disgust, you catch the large frog and hold it in your hand. It stares at you with its big bulgy eyes and wobbles its throat. Let's look at the frog. Look how cute he is with his big eyes and his little crown. All right, we're going to do the princess thing, and we're going to kiss the frog. You look at the frog's green lips. Good. You feel silly doing this as you slowly put your mouth against the frog's. Suddenly, the little green frog changes into a handsome prince. "Who are you?" the prince demands. "I thought you were supposed to be a princess. Why, you're nothing more than a peasant girl." You blanch a bit at his remark, but say nothing. "Well, ta-ta," he says. "I'm off. Here, you may keep this." To your surprise, he tosses the little golden crown at you as he takes his leave. Good riddance, you think. Jerk. And we can take the ball, though it does absolutely no good for it. We get no more points for it or anything. Alright, so now we have a crown. Let's take a look around some more. Ooh, we're in the spooky cemetery. We're not going to stay here for a while. We're gonna go south. And this is where I wanted to be. Look at this lovely place, built right into the side of a tree. But we're not going to go there yet. We're going to come down here. So one of the biggest challenges of this game is really not the puzzles. It's the going up and down stairs and climbing ledges, because you will fall and you will die. You have encountered a group of small men working in this diamond mine. They're not too friendly, though, as one of them forcefully tells you to leave the premises. And he chases you out. Alright. The reason why I did that is because, canonly, she does this first. And then, in a fit, she goes to their house and punishes them for their rude behavior by cleaning. Oh, got the duck. And now you know why her dress was always soaked. As you can see, nobody locks their doors. It's daytime. Look at this mess. This is the main room of the Seven Dwarfs' cozy tree house. What a mess it is! So let's clean it up. You hear the dwarves approaching. You watch quietly as the dwarves file in one by one, get a bowl of soup, and take a seat at the table. This is going to take a minute. Must really be hungry. He's getting 2 bowls of soup. The seven dwarfs seem very pleased that you tidied their messy home. When politely asks you your name, you tell him, and he cordially invites you to sit down with them and eat the bowl of soup he got for you. Isn't that sweet? And seeing as how she hasn't eaten since, literally the day before because she was being sacrificed to a dragon, you sit yourself at the table and begin to eat the surprisingly delicious soup. So nothing will happen here unprompted, so you actually have to talk. You politely talk with the dwarf nearest you. Where are you from, Rosella? He asks. You tell him Daventry. The dwarf thinks for a moment. Never heard of it. And that's going to be the end of it if I don't talk again. Again, you engage in conversation. Is Daventry far from Tamir? The dwarf wonders. Very far, you tell them. How did you get here? They ask. As you don't want to get into specifics, you tell them, spicy. That answer seems to satisfy them, and they return to their eating. And they will continue to eat. Look at her little slurping her soup. You speak to the nearest dwarf again. He wonders why you are here in Tamir. You explain that you are in the service of Genesta because we tell everybody what's going on. Surely no one will listen to us. The good fairy, who wishes to regain her magic talisman from the clutches of Lolote, the bad fairy. Well, young lady, the dwarf states, I don't envy you. You're much braver than I am dealing with that evil fairy. And if you talk to them again, they will tell you to shut up. You attempt a conversation another time, but the dwarves tell you that they must hurry and finish their soup, as they need to get back to work before dark. It's not like that mine's going anywhere, but okay. And we sit here. And we wait. It's time for the little men to go back to the mine. Goodbye, and thanks for the soup, you call as they take their leave. And not a single one of them cleans up after himself. Your soup also. It was the best soup you ever had tasted. Maybe, though, you were just really hungry. You were just really hungry. Alright, so we're going to be nice and we're going to clean one more time to our little cleaning song. And I want from now on, if you ever see her cleaning in the game, the dust that comes up from her arms because she's moving that fast. Phew! I hope that's the last of it. All right, but we have a little treasure here. So we're going to look at the table. You see a long wooden table. You also notice a blue pouch. Take pouch. Now imagine a 5-year-old trying to play this game. It was very difficult because I couldn't spell anything. All right. So we have this blue pouch. Let's see what's in it. You open the diamond pouch and look inside. Many diamonds flash and sparkle from within. Carefully you close it again so as not to lose any. Well, seeing as how this doesn't belong to us, and it was left in their own home where they could surely have found it again, I'll take it back to them, because clearly they're going to miss it. So now you can see that the guy in blue has moved, so I can actually come inside, and I don't want to fall, because tripping is the worst. It wouldn't kill me, but it would really delay us. So I could try talking to all these guys, but to save us all some time, I'm just going to go to the guy I know that we need to go to, because everyone else will ignore me. And because I'm a stickler for positioning, I'm wasting your time with this. I want to be able to see that little lantern. You say hello to the small man next to the diamond bucket. He seems amazed to see you here. Rosella, he exclaims, what are you doing in here? Don't you know this ain't no place for a fine girl like yourself? You don't agree with that, but you don't argue. Being an on his person, you offer the forgotten pouch of diamonds to the dwarf. His gruff exterior softens a bit. Nah, you can keep it, he says. We got plenty here. We also got an extra lantern we ain't using. Here, go ahead and take it. The dwarf's gruffness returns as he says, now ski-daddle on out of here. And we're going to, ski-daddle. Alright, here we go. And the reason why I'm hugging the wall here is if you fall in that crevice, you will die. Okay, so I've got a few things. I have the crown and I have the lantern, which is almost everything I need, but I'm going to need to do some stuff to go get that fruit. So, while I'm doing this, I'm going to go collect all the easy odds and ends. Alright, nothing there. Let's see if it comes. Okay, so we see this little robin. He's trying to eat that worm. We're going to ruin his dinner. And we're going to take the worm. So when she says that she picks up everything, because you never know when you might need it, literally she picks up everything, including worms. Okay, so I've got these diamonds. And I think we're going to go back actually to the cemetery right now because I can do everything in one fell swoop. So since I've got some time, normally I would just blitz through this because I know where everything I need is, but we're going to play Let's Read Tombstones. 1643. Here lies Newberry Will. His life was finished 'cause he took ill. But none'll miss him. We should have been wiser. 'Tis his own fault for being such a miser. Some of them get really funny. Here I lie with my 3 daughters, who died drinking Cheltenham's waters. If he had stuck to Epsom salts, we should not sleep in this cold vault. I don't think that's going to be true. Here lies the body of Mary Ann Louder. She burst while drinking a Sizelet's powder. Called from this world to her heavenly rest, she should have waited till it effervesced. Makes you want that on your own tombstone, just something funny and limericky. Dr. I lets 'em. When people's ill, they come to I physics, bleeds, and sweats 'em. Sometimes they live, sometimes they die. What's that to I lets 'em. To the ever-living memory of Hiram Bennett, baby son of Edward and Sarah Bennett, who by a sudden surprise fell asleep the 11th day of November, 1553, aged 6 months. Not so funny, that one. Lord Coningsby, 1559 to 1626, sleepeth here in peace, an honourable man, a valiant soldier. He served his country well. I plantest these shrubs upon your grave, dear wife, that something on this spot may boast of life. Shrubs must wither, and all earth must rot. Shrubs may revive, but you, thank heaven, will not. Give it a couple hours. Strong and athletic was my frame, far from my native home I came, and manly fought with Simon Brine. Alas, but I lived not to return. Reader, take warning of by my fate, lest you should rue your case too late. If you have ever fought before, determine now to fight no more. Well, wasn't that a jaunty trip through the forest? But we're going to pass right by this house. We're going to go to the other side. We're going to go to the eastern graveyard. Ta-da! More graves. And we're going to read them. We're going to read them all. And as you can see over here in the distance, we have this really interesting... Whoops. Pardon me. We have this interesting little kind of pillar thing, kind of Grecian in look. That'll come into play later. 1634 to 1672. She done her best. That's a good one, I think. Whoe'er you are, tread softly, I entreat you, for if he chance to wake, be sure he'll eat you. Betty Cowden, 1650 to 1669. Here lieth the body of Betty Cowden, who would live longer, but she coden. Sorrow and grief made her decay when she lost her lover at the sea one day. Now they just kind of make up words to get rhymes, and they clearly don't rhyme, but that's okay. It's an 80s game for children. Dentist Brown. Stranger, approach this spot with gravity. John Brown is filling his last cavity. At length, my friends, the feast of life is o'er. I've eaten sufficient, and I'll drink no more. My night is come, I've spent a jovial day. 'Tis time to part, but oh, what is to pay? 1546. Reader, here lies, but forbear to read more without a tear. One, I cannot speak the rest. You may weep, I'll smite my breast. Grief preventing, and this stone too small to be written on, only this, a little boy, Willie, in Abraham's bosom laid. Rebecca Freeland, 1598. She drank good ale, good punch and wine, and lived to the age of 99. We'll get one last one in. Here lies a poor woman who was always tired. She lived in a house where help wasn't hired. Her last words on earth were, "Dear friends, I am going to where there's no cooking or washing or sewing. For everything there's exactly to my wishes. For where they don't eat, there's no washing of dishes. I'll be where loud anthems will always be ringing, but having no voice, I'll be quiet of the singing. Don't mourn for me now, don't mourn for me never. I'm going to do nothing for ever and ever." All right. Now, wasn't that fun? Now we're going to go back to the house. Now that I've given you that experience, because otherwise I would not be able to, because if I don't do it now, I can't do it later. All right. Open door that are never locked. Okay, so let's take a look around. This is the entry room of the old house. Downstairs you see 2 open doorways, and upstairs you see an additional 2 doorways. The room is cobwebbed and dusty, with wallpaper peeling from the walls. So, if you want to play this game, which I highly recommend that you do, because it's really, really fun, even if I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks, it's actually pretty challenging, even if you know how the puzzles work. But you can explore things more. Like, you can look at the paintings, you can look at the mirrors, you can examine different things. I'm going to give you a little tour of the house, because actually if I was just blitzing through this like I did last night, I wouldn't even go through that right-hand door. So that's the first one we're going to go through, is the right-hand door. So we're going to take a look around. Here's the dining room. This old dining room has seen better days. The long table is littered with crumbs and dust, and against the wall, an empty hutch is covered with cobwebs. Now, normally you would explore this and you'd look around at everything and see if there's anything of value to take, but there is literally nothing on this side of the house that you need. The old kitchen is quite bare. The fireplace has been cold for years, and the dusty pantry is empty but for old crumbs. And the one thing I will point out is that if you do decide you want to wander their house later when things get interesting, um, the candles and the chandeliers will be lit, but there's really no reason to come over to this side once it gets dark. And there's a reason for that because you are timed. It is 9:09 a.m. in the game. You have 24 hours from the game start, so I've been actually wandering around for about an hour game time. You have until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So once night falls, I could literally mess around for literally the entire time it takes for 12 hours to pass in this game, and that's when night would fall at 9 p.m. But you don't ever want to do that because once 9 p.m. hits, there is a sequence that you have to do very quickly. Within half an hour game time, and if you don't meet the sequence, then you're stuck and you can't move on. All right, so the neat thing here, you see the mirror? We're gonna look in the mirror because it's fun. You look into the broken mirror and see the reflection of a poor but beautiful peasant girl. So Rosella does know what she looks like. So we're gonna go search around the house. I'm not gonna go to the west end of the house just yet. I'm gonna go upstairs. So when you reach, okay, when she climbed that staircase, it was automatic. I didn't have to do anything. Once you hit the top of the stairs, you can immediately turn left, and she will just go down the hallway. You don't have to adjust because otherwise you'll end up going through that door if you don't mean to. Well, let's take a look around here. I'm going places that you don't need to look. It appears if this was once the master bedroom. However, cobwebs hang everywhere and dust covers the furniture. Ta-da! This old baby nursery must have once been a cheery place. Now, through neglect, cobwebs decorate the corners, wallpaper peels from the walls, and dust covers the nursery furniture. So there's some couple of fun things that you can do. So we see the horse. There's an old rocking horse here. You're too big for it. I've actually never typed that before. And so we're going to look at this crib. You see an empty cradle here. Rock that cradle. Yeah, that's not creepy, right? Alright, so we're going to head into the other bedroom. It's just a bedroom. This old bedroom must have once been very nice. You could imagine a cheery fire in the fireplace while its occupant slept snugly in the big bed. But sadly, this room has been abandoned for years. Now, there's an interesting thing about this room. I hope you notice it. You look up at the ceiling and notice a closed trap door. There is no way to get to that trap door right now. Believe me, I know. Once upon a time, I spent hours attempting it. And I just eventually gave up because I was wrong. Okay, place where we can do stuff. Considering the disarray of the rest of the house, the parlor looks in relatively good order. However, the fireplace is cold and unused, the bookshelves are almost bare, and the old furnishings are dusty. So we got some cool things. When you play these games, you want to look for things that kind of stand out from the background. Anything that really just strikes you by color or by oddity of the way it's designed. So we're going to look at the bookshelves. You examine a few remaining books on the shelves. Only one catches your attention. Is entitled The Complete, spelled that way, Works of William Shakespeare, which is that little blue book that's right by her head. So we're going to take the book. You remove Shakespeare book from the shelf and carry it with you. And that means I got a point. So we can read the book if you want to. They shall not up so soon as I to try the fair adventure of tomorrow. And you can do it over and over again, but it's the same handful of quotes. So the next interesting thing is clearly this picture, because she is definitely not looking at me. An interesting portrait of a young girl hangs above the fireplace. You gaze at it intently and notice that her eyes seem to stare at the left wall of the parlor. Well, if she's going to look at the left wall, I'm going to look at the left wall. You examine the left wall very closely and notice a little latch. Flip the latch in the wall and behold, you have discovered a secret door. Ta-da! So, here's the thing. I'm not climbing these stairs for you. I will climb them later, but not right now. I'm just gonna take the shovel. I love you, Kate, but I'm not climbing those goddamn stairs for you right now. We can play with those stairs much, much later. Alright. So, we're officially done in this house for right now. And we've spent game time 24 minutes in here. So, hitting escape gets you up here. I'm gonna hit save. Ooh. As you can see, I have played this game. We're gonna call it live stream. And so I'm gonna hit save. I've been kind of fast and loose with my saving. I recommend if you play these games, save all the time. Just save, save, save. Reuse the same save if you want to, but I recommend making multiple ones because if you dead end yourself, you'll need to be able to go backwards. So action, you can pause, we can hit retype. When I type things, you just start typing to bring the commands in, which is something that will help you because there are moments where you're going to have to act really quickly, so just start typing what you want to do. That's how I bring it up. If you want to retype something, you don't actually have to hit F3. Hit the space bar. The last thing you typed will automatically pop up for you to hit enter. Anytime you type, you're pausing the game. So Control I, or we can go up here to action and we can go to the inventory and we can see everything we have. So I have a diamond pouch, I have an unlit lantern, that's very important, a gold ball that does me no good anymore, a small crown, a shovel, Shakespeare's book, and a worm. Okay, so I need to unload that book and those diamonds. So off we go. I don't like this screen. The only reason to be on this screen is to trip and fall. The only reason to be on the screen is a worm. Well, the bird and the worm can appear here. The screen just makes you trip and fall. There's ways, you can always go around it. So I'm just gonna head out this way, following all the flowers, all the pretty flowers. And I'm gonna go south here. Oh, nothing. That's sad. So I come out from behind the bushes. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? And we're gonna go south again. So here is a lovely pool. It's very nice, isn't it? Very pretty. We're going to go up, and we're gonna come back down because I just triggered an event. You can go back and forth on certain screens to trigger events. So here's Cupid. Roselle has actually met Cupid in a very distant way. So we're going to take a look around. The beautiful pool, with its elegant marble columns, has a wonderful setting in these woods. The water looks so cool and inviting, you almost tempted to jump in. You can't swim because you're too tall. And we're going to look at Cupid. Cupid happily splashes and frolics in the clear water of the pool. So we're going to try talking to Cupid. You speak to Cupid, but he doesn't seem to hear you. So we need the thing from Cupid. So If you think Rosella's a goody two-shoes, you are wrong. She's going to steal from him. Oh no, you've startled Cupid, and he is going to run away without his bow. And you are going to take it. By you, I mean Rosella. Alright, and then I'm just gonna do this. Yay! Splashing in the water. Okay, so we're getting up there in our things that we need. It's a lovely little meadow patch. A friend of yours can appear here that you get to see. He also will appear here, but he obviously isn't appearing right now because I hear nothing. I'm gonna go one screen east. And there's Pan. I can't do anything with Pan right now. I don't have what he needs. I can take a look around. You venture to shady wooded area. The birds are calling from many trees. You notice a pool in the distance to the north. Look at Pan. You see a lively creature who is at the same time both man and goat. He is a satyr. His name is Pan. He seems to greatly enjoy his flute music. You attempt to speak to Pan, but he pays you no mind. He's too wrapped up in his flute music. He's dancing very happily and jauntily, and we're gonna leave him to that. And there's a very specific place I'm trying to take you right now. I like this one the best. So we're going to try and prompt a visit from another person right now. My personal favorite place to see him is here, but he can also appear one more screen to the left. But I prefer to see him here. And there he is. So, we're going to take a look around. The scent of wildflowers fills the air in the lovely green meadow. We're going to look at the man. You see a rather jaunty-looking fellow who appears to be a wandering minstrel. He seems to be a lute player. So we're going to talk to him, and I'm going to let you listen to the music that plays when we talk to him. You say hello to the minstrel, who looks at you in surprise. Well, well, who do we have here? He asks. You introduce yourself as Rosella. Hello, Rosella, the minstrel says. Let me play for you one of my favorite tunes. And he begins to play an old ballad. Unfortunately, it appears that his musical skills are quite limited, as he plunks and pings his way through an otherwise beautiful song. And if you talk to him again, you unthinkingly speak to the minstrel again, who immediately begins playing another bad rendition of a favorite oldie but goodie. We're going to talk to him one more time, because that's canon compliant. The minstrel seems quite pleased that you appreciate his music so much. He obviously loves the attention as he goes into an out-of-tune version of Green Sleeves. And the important reason that I go 3 times is because Green Sleeves is the national anthem of Daventry, and it's very near and dear to Rosella's heart, and he butchers it. So we can't stand listening to him play anymore, so we're going to give him something else to do. And I'm not close enough to touch him. So I'm going to get out of your way because I want you to see his animations, because his animations are kind of fun. You hand the Shakespeare book to the minstrel. Curiously, he opens it and begins to read aloud, first hesitantly, and then with increasing forcefulness as he begins to get into it. Suddenly he stops and looks at you. "This is wonderful," he exclaims. "This gives me a new lease on life. No longer am I a mere minstrel. Now I'll become a famous actor. To be or not to be. How's that?" He then gives you his lute and bids you farewell and wanders off to stardom. And the hint is in how he's dressed, because he's definitely dressed like a Shakespearean actor. So now he gave me his lute. So someone was very interested in music, so I'm going to go see if I can have myself a duet. So I'll put myself center stage here as he's dancing around over there. And we're just going to play the lute. Pan has ceased his dancing and now looks at you and the lute curiously. So now you're just kind of staring at each other. This is awkward. And if you start moving, he will follow you, which is pretty neat. But he will not follow you out of the screen, and you'll have to go back and find him if you leave the screen. But he will follow you. So we're going to try talking to him. You speak to Pan, but he doesn't respond. He only stares at you expectantly. He does not talk to you. He's a guy who knows what he wants, and what he wants is for you to give him the lute. Okay, Pan gratefully accepts your gift of the lute, and in return he gives you his flute. Happy now, he dances away with it. Alright, so we got rid of that book, so it's time to get rid of those pesky diamonds. They're just weighing me down. But first, once again, I have to showcase to you that people do not lock their doors. You just walk right on in. You introduce yourself to the old fisherman's wife. With little patience, she responds, "What are you doing here, young lady? Can't you see I'm busy? We have enough problems without worrying about you." So, gonna go. She doesn't even offer me any coffee. So let's take a peek out here at the pier. There's a fisherman. You're standing at the end of an old weathered pier. From here to the west, you can see nothing but ocean. I'm going to startle this bird, and I'm going to look at the fisherman. You see a grizzled old fisherman on the pier. Apparently, he isn't having any luck today. You say a few words to the old fisherman. However, he must have other things on his mind, as he seems to be ignoring you. So nice. So, we're going to wait till he gets up. You always wait till he gets past you, because you're never faster than he is. And you always end up stopped at the beginning screen, so he's always going to get there first. And how freaking rude. He doesn't lock it, so you can just go right in. So we already know that she's mean. So we're going to talk to the fisherman. You talk to the grizzled fisherman as he sits at the table. Sighing, he tells you, "Them fish ain't been biting lately. If things don't get better soon, I don't know what to do." So, you, being a very wealthy princess in general, you have wealth upon you that you don't need. So you're going to give the pouch to the fisherman. You don't have to type fisherman, you can type man. It's very simplistic commands. You offer the pouch of diamonds to the fisherman, who takes it gladly. "Wife, give the girl my fishing pole in trade," he tells the tired wife. His poor tired wife. Obediently, she retrieves the pole and hands it to you. "Thank you very much," she says, smiling. "You have certainly helped us. So much nicer now that you've handed her a big old pouch of diamonds." Do. I don't need anything to do with these people anymore. Don't want to fall off the end of the pier. Now, the end of the pier is kind of tricky. Um, don't be afraid to stop what you might think is a little early, because otherwise you will fall off the end. Okay, so we're going to do what he was doing. We have something that he doesn't have. We're going to bait hook with worm. Scrunching up your delicate nose, you gingerly bait the hook of the fishing pole with the large earthworm. And now we're going to fish. Eagerly from the end of the pier, you fling the baited line of the fishing pole into the ocean. Now, this is okay. Don't be upset if you don't catch anything the first time. Fish don't seem to be biting. So you're going to fish again. This is pretty much a random chance. I've gotten it the first try, I've gotten it the second try. You just fish. There's nothing else to do except to keep doing it. Almost immediately, you feel a sharp tug on the line. Something pulls and fights your line as you slowly reel it in. There it is. You have caught yourself a fine, fat fish. And now I have a fish in my pocket. I'm going to save now. Like I said, I've been playing really fast and loose, but I haven't done anything terribly dangerous. Because I'm about to do something terribly dangerous. And I'm about to swim this direction straight off the pier, hugging the bottom of the screen. There's a reason for that. And just so you know, I'm incredibly jumpy. I see fish and I just panic because there is a shark out here in the ocean and it will come at you when you least expect it. So hug the bottom of the screen. If you're coming to Genesis Island, which is where we are right now, you want to make sure that you come right off that pier, because there's always 2 screens of ocean between her island and the mainland, and that pier screen takes up one of those screens, so you get here so much faster and there's less chance of you getting eaten by a shark. So we're going to take this feather that we found on the ground by luck of chance, because we needed this. This is what we came for. Let me give you a little tour. It's a really pretty place. And you could come in from any of these areas, but if you swim off into any of these other directions, you will drown, or if you don't get eaten by a shark. But it's really pretty here, and we're gonna talk to the parrot. Probably want a cracker? Because we're that person. And there's a beautiful swan hanging out in his swan pond. Genesis Tiny Fairies guard the palace door. Well, we're not gonna go into the palace right now. There's really nothing to see and there's nothing to get. So we're gonna bypass it. I just wanted to give you a tour of what her area looked like, and there's her peacock. A majestic peacock with beautiful tail struts by. Now, often you will see the peacock before you see the feather. Literally, you just pace the island until you find the feather, because he eventually will give you one. Okay, so we're gonna head back, and because we're about to jump in the water, we're going to save, because that's the smart thing to do. I'm actually, by the way, I'm walking at a medium pace. If you hit shift and the plus sign on your keyboard, she will speed up incrementally. I never go more than 2 taps past center. To get back to center, you just tap the equal sign instead. Yeah, like I said, there's always 2. When you come back, I'm coming back the exact way I came, but it's actually going to put us 1 screen north of where we left. which I'm not ever sure why that happens. And it's always very nerve-wracking coming back from Genestus Island because there's twice as many chances that you're going to get eaten by a shark. All right, so yeah, this is her medium pace, and if you want her to go faster, you just hit Shift plus, and then you hit Shift plus again. That's as fast as I ever want her to go because if you go too fast, she will blitz through screens and she will just fall off the end of the earth. It's terrible. Okay, so let's take a peek at that inventory really quick. Okay, so I have a silver flute, a lantern, a peacock feather, a small crown, a cupid's bow, a shovel, a fishing pole, and a dead fish, because that fish is way dead by now. So I have a flute, a lantern, and the small crown. We're going to go. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go and yeah, we're going to do this first. We're going to go and we're going to get the magic fruit that saves King Graham's life. We're going to have that. We're just going to get that baby right out of the way. If you ever get lost trying to get to the mountains, obviously you can just head west, but I'm actually going to, you can follow the stream. That'll take you right to where you need to go for this little adventure. I'm actually going to wade into the stream because it's very easy to get caught on the bushes otherwise. And water does not seem to hold her back, even though she is in a very long dress with a lot of stuff in it. Okay, so here is this majestic little waterfall. And we're going to wear that little crown. I'm a little frog. And the frog swims under, and I can turn back to myself because it sure feels good to be myself again. So, like I said, take everything and look at everything. What's this? Why, it's a cave behind the waterfall. You see an old board lying by the cave entrance. Now, it's really easy for people who play this game to miss getting behind the waterfall because there is no clues on how to get here because it says it lies beyond the Impossible Mountains, which is where Lolote's castle is. And that seems to be the only entrance past the Impossible Mountains, but she does not actually have your fruit. The first time we played this game when I was very, very young, that's what we thought was going to happen, that she would have it, because that was the only thing that we could think of, and we didn't know what this crown was for. And by experimentation, by using literally everything we had in our inventory on every single screen, that's how we figured out how to get under the waterfall. We're going to take that board. Now, the lantern isn't lit, so we're going to light the lantern. Also something that no one tells you. Using the flint attached to the oil lantern, you light it. The lantern burns with a bright glow. You can't tell because you're in the technical daylight. So we're going to save. Because this is also very stressful, and this is pure chance. And we go. Okay, so first screen, we're okay. There is a troll that lives here. The cave is very dark, as you might, you can't see through the darkness. The cave is very dark. Okay, screw it. There's bones beside you, so I'm just letting you know. We're gonna take a bone. So I've done that, and I'm going to immediately save because you're going to know if you're going to survive these screens pretty much immediately when you go through. So we save, and we go. And we breathe again because we made it past the screen. So if it doesn't happen immediately, because there's really no hesitation, if the terrify you thing doesn't happen immediately, then you're pretty safe. Yeah, this is why you need, like, Rosella would still be highlighted if you didn't have the lantern lit. I completely forgot to not be afraid. uh, she was to be highlighted, but you would not be able to see what she's running into, so it would be very difficult to see through here without the lantern. So we're safe in this panel here, so I'm going to hit save again. Saving in every screen is absolutely necessary because you just don't realize just how dangerous this cave is. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so this screen right here, safe screen. You will never be attacked in this screen, so don't worry and don't panic. Do not rush. Save anyway. Because even the best of us forget where this is located. So you see that little line right there? That, you see an opening in the distance. Okay, so there's a chasm there. So there, you'd like to see it. So there's a chasm right beside my feet. You can see those two little black lines that shows you the opening of the chasm. So we're going to say place board over chasm. Feeling in the dark, you manage to place the board across the crevice. Now, can you cross it safely? The best way to cross it safely, hit the right arrow key, and she will just cross it. Feeling in the dark again, you manage to pick up the board without dropping it into the crevice. She automatically picks up the board, which is super great. You don't have to fight that. And we just head up towards the light. Now, it's very easy to get stuck here. I did it earlier last night. She'll just walk through if you hit it right. You just, yeah, there she goes. And here we are. We're on the other side of the Impossible Mountains. I'm gonna save my swamp save. Just overwrite that. So, Rosella's a really good swimmer, but don't swim here. If you want to do something fun, you can put the frog crown on and see what happens, but make sure you save before you do that. So we're going to get pretty close to the edge. Double tapping directional keys will make you take that short step like I'm doing, so it's like a quick double tap, double tap, double tap. And that's going to make her walk really, really slow. So I'm going to then type one simple command, jump. Because you don't want her walking on her own, you want her to jump. So we're going to hit the spacebar, enter. Rinse and repeat. This live stream brought to you in part by jumping. And you have to jump off the edge of the screen here. Don't be afraid that you can't see yourself, just keep hitting jump. Look at that shiny, shiny fruit. Uh-oh, let's take a peek around. Look, you see a small island in the middle of a huge swamp. Upon this island grows a scrawny little tree. A large glistening fruit hangs from the small branch. Unfortunately, a huge cobra protects it. We're going to, first things first. So we're going to hit place board, and then we're going to save. Because this gets tricky. This is a very narrow path, and she walks really friggin' fast. Okay, I'm going to save again, because this is tricky. Double tapping the whole way. So I'm just going to get a little bit inland, because right now I'm far enough away from the snake that he can't get to me, and he's not going to move from that spot. He will get me if I move closer, and then I will die. So we're going to hit save, and then I'm going to play the flute. Nervously, you raise the flute to your mouth and begin to play a melodic tune to the big cobra, who begins to sway with the music. Soon, the snake is mesmerized by it and falls into a hypnotic trance. This does not last long. Do not rest upon your laurels. Get in there and get out. Okay. Okay, now I'm far enough away where he can't get me. I'm gonna save, because he will come out of that trance very quickly. Ah, and there I did it. I walked right off the edge. And I died. What did you do? Yes, I know that they are quagmires and they will suck you under. As you take your last breath, you contemplate this final information. So we're gonna hit restore. I'm gonna restore myself to the swamp. Like I said, she moves really, really, really fast, so don't... It's okay not to trust Rosella, not to step off things. Because we're gonna need it. And if she's willing to pick it up, that means she's safely on the lily pad, and we just go back to hit and jump. This is why Rosella hates long skirts. How you doing out there in TV land, Kate? And one final jump. Do not walk off this lily pad. And she's going to climb back inside. Now, you can extinguish the lantern, but there's no point in extinguishing the lantern. It doesn't hurt you, doesn't help you in any way. So we're back in the cave. And we're going to savey. All the way over to the right, because otherwise we will fall directly into that chasm. And we'll just go until she can't go anymore. And then we're going to hit save. And then careful steps. Okay, so I made it across. I'm going to get it all the way to the edge of the screen so I don't have to worry about it. Saving again. Like, I'm not kidding. You gotta save, because the next screen I go to, I could literally die in 2 seconds with doing nothing on my own. Okay, he's not here, so we continue on. And we try to remember which way we came in. It's very confusing, but if you do not see the villainous... Ooh, almost didn't save. The villainous prompt, then you are okay. Woohoo! Savey. This nerve-wracking, let me tell you. And see, like, there's all these rocks that are in the way, and you kind of just have to guess where you're going. Here we go. Book it. And we are out. We do not have to go back into that cave for anything. All right, so we're gonna save, so we don't. So in case we die on accident. And just swim out. It'll just carry you out in the undertow. You just pop out on the other side. Okay, so our personal main quest is done. We don't have to worry about that anymore, which is one of the hardest ones to do, let me tell you. That's probably the hardest thing that you have to do is that particular personal quest. The next thing we're going to do, we're just going to go up this mountain. This is all the way to the west. If you go one screen to the left here, we're going to run into the side of the dwarves' mine. Like I said, you're going to see, you see this big drop off here. You've got to hug that wall. It is very dangerous. You will master the little galloping clicks. I'm sure you can hear them. Like, it looks like there's plenty of room, and sometimes you'll have a couple of seconds between each click, and you'll be lucky. And that's why you gotta be careful, because she will walk right off the edge of shit. You won't even realize. This is why we save. Ta-da! We just come back down here. Let's maybe slow you down a little. Yeah. You can totally use the minus key to slow her down a little bit. That's always nice. When in doubt, save. Move my mouse where I can see it just in case. It's going to let you know when there's a processing going on. So, because that little crown popped up, I knew not to try it again. Oh no, that's good. Yes, this is what we're doing. Why would you want to kiss a thing like that? So there you go. This is terrifying. I just want you to understand the things that this poor child has gone through. All of this is awful. Well, my pets, Lilot hisses, what have you drug home today? Lilot gives you a once-over, and as she does, her red eyes begin to narrow. Are you a foolish girl who wandered here by mistake, or are you a spy sent here by my enemy Genesta? You swear to Lilot that you are nothing but a poor peasant girl who has lost her way, but she doesn't seem to believe you as her mouth begins to snarl and her eyes narrow to mere slits. For the first time, you experience real fear and begin to tremble. Lilot snarls, "You don't look stupid enough to have wandered here. I believe you're a spy. Take her to the cell," which is that direction that she's pointing for future reference. Oh, isn't this a cheery place? You have found yourself in a horrible cell. Looks as if others have found their way here, too. Hopefully, you won't end up like them. At least 2 unfortunate individuals have met their end here. An ominous machine lurks in the corner of the cell. As to its purpose, you don't want to know. A whip hangs on the wall. The chains are securely attached to the wall. So, there's really nothing to do here. And so we wait. So, that's a perfect example of how she knows that you're always lying. You hear the henchmen returning. Perhaps they are setting you free. Yeah, so Roselle's a terrible liar and everyone sees right through her. That's where I get that from. The henchman motions you to follow him out of the cell. At least he's not dragging me along. Now he's dragging me along. Lilot gives you a sickly sweet look. You're lucky, my dear, she coos. My precious Edgar has taken a liking to you, and he believes you. He's convinced me to give you a chance to prove your innocence. You glance at the homely young man sitting next to Lilot. He blushes. Lilot continues, I wish to own the unicorn that inhabits the Meadowland. Bring me the unicorn, and I shall not only set you free, but reward you as well. To her henchman, Lilot orders, Go! Take her back to the forest! I like to put the crown on people's heads. We've kind of prepped for this already by having gone and gotten the feather and gotten the bow. Those are things that are nice to do early and first because there's an event that allows you to get truly get the unicorn that doesn't trigger until you go get the quest to get the unicorn itself, if that makes sense. Like, until you visit Lilot for the first time, you can't actually bring the unicorn anywhere. So gathering up all the other stuff that's required to get him that you can get pretty easily is kind of nice to do before you head off and kind of trigger her event. So now we're just going to look for a unicorn. The screen below, he appears. This screen, he'll appear. And there's a third screen that he shows up in. Not this one. It's not this screen that he shows up in. Or this one. That'll take us back to the stream with the meadow in it. So we kind of just have to wait till he shows up. And you can like dodge back and forth between those two screens. Some people like to do that. It's not where I want to go. Come on, horsey. Would like to show her the other screen, but I don't know where it is. So we're just gonna do this number. It's called the screen dance. Doot doo. Doop a doop boop boo. Where are you, horsey? Come on, unicorn. Where the friggin' heck are you hiding? You're hiding in that screen I don't know where to get. I don't know how to get to. I never remember where that screen is. So Frog is to the north, there to the east. Ooh, don't want to be here. So that screen that we met Pan in that first time is the only screen where two things can happen to you. One is you meet Pan, the other is you meet a very unfriendly person. There's our unicorn. Okay, we wanna wait. Woo, wrong way. Alright, so we're going to shoot unicorn with bow, because it's Cupid's love bow. And you can see her holding the bow and everything, the unicorn. You aim one of the Cupid's golden arrows towards the beautiful unicorn. You let go of the bow string. Zing! Bullseye. The magnificent unicorn is no longer afraid of you. It's now your friend. And don't you feel like a little shithead for what you're about to do to it? So you can pet the unicorn. You gently stroke the velvety soft nose of the unicorn. It seems as if you have made a friend, Rosella. And you can kiss the unicorn. You plant a big kiss on the velvety nose of the beautiful unicorn, and then we can't do anything with it because there's no way of guiding it anywhere. So now we're getting out of here. Alright, we're going to head south a little bit. We're going back to that pier. I'm just getting lined up where I know that the pier landing is going to be. Okie do. So welcome to your pier. We've got our fish, we've got our feather. Those are the two important things to have when you're right here. And we're going to take a stroll off of a shore pier. And we're going to save. We're going to save. Oh good, I didn't make a save that gives it away, so I'll just do live stream one again. Okay, so we're looking for something new out here. We're not going to rush. We're going to hang out by the screen edge. We're going to go back. We're going to go forward. Swim in a little. Go, 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 and I died. And that's why I don't like, don't hold down, don't do what I did. I held down the directional key, because I'm so used to MMOs. Swim out just a little bit. Where's our buddy? There he is. Okay, don't run away from him. The shark can't get you if he's here. Okay, just swim into the middle. Ah! Horrors, you've been swallowed by a huge whale. Phew, this place stinks. Okay, so we're not going to rush, even though this is very timed. You only have a few minutes before Rosella dies in here. So we're going to grab some things. We're going to take the bottle. And we're going to go meet the skeleton. The skeleton is an unlucky man. Let's call him James. Rests atop the wreckage of a small boat. Who would listen? So, the wackiness that is this. So, I'm pretty sure that this reminds you of Pinocchio, because that's exactly what we're going to do. We're just not going to light a fire in him, we're going to make him sneeze through more non-traditional methods. So you want to get all the way over here to the left side of the screen, and you want to save. We're going to make a new one, and we're going to call it Whale. So once again, this is tricky. The double tapping is your friend, because you will slip and fall like that, and if you do it too often, too many times, you will die. Up and over. Patient, patient. And you're going to go like this. You'll know that you're doing it right when she doesn't fall and she actually stands up. Ta-da! So we're going to save here and keep going the same path up and over. We're going to go right to the center. I know some people who can blitz right through this, and I am not one of those people. So we're close enough. So you just tickle throat. So when I was little, we could not figure this out to save our lives. We spent weeks on it. We actually had to call the helpline to get us out of this, and that's how we learned how to do that. You frantically tickle the throat of the whale with the big peacock feather. You begin to feel a quiver under your feet, which quickly turns into a mighty tremble. Suddenly, you hear a thunderous "Achoo!" and you are swept out of the whale's mouth in a tremendous wave of ocean water and whale snot. Again, you find yourself swimming in the ocean. Look, there's an island. Let's go to that side. All right. Welcome to Shipwreck Island. There's a whole bunch of shipwrecks here. So, let's take a peek. You have found yourself stranded upon a desert island. Alas, it seems others have before you. Now what are you going to do, Rosella? So if you sit here, and like there's so many ways to die in this game. If you sit here too long, you will die of heat exposure. So we've got a friend here. A pelican visits you on the desert island. So what do pelicans like? Pelicans like to go away. I went way too slow with that. That is a bad thing. Pelican left. Let's see if I can't prompt him to come back to me. Yeah. So if you leave the screen and come back, he'll come back. We need him. We desperately need that pelican. Don't get too close. Throw fish to pelican. And look, he dropped something. You throw the stinky dead fish to the pelican. Greedily he catches it in his large bill. As he does so, you notice something shiny fall from his bill onto the ground. And you see where it shines. You get close to it. Look at ground. You see a shiny whistle lying on the ground. Take the whistle. You're going to need it. Alright, well that still doesn't get us what we need, because we need a way to get that horse to move. You see a glint coming from inside the boat. There was actually an older version of this, like the original version, where they did not give you that hint, and I'm glad I never had that version. You look at the ground inside the wrecked boat. What is this? Why, it's a golden bridle. You pick it up and carry it with you. So that's everything we need, and so we're going to blow the whistle. Very pretty. You put the shiny silver whistle to your lips and forcefully blow into it, producing a loud tweet. To your astonishment, a friendly dolphin appears just offshore and jabbers excitedly at you. So we're going to hang out with this dolphin for a little bit. Just go right up to him, and you can pet the dolphin. The dolphin's skin feels smooth and slippery as you pet it. Kiss the dolphin. There's no need for that. So we're going to ride the dolphin, because he's going to take us home. You speak to the dolphin, and it chatters back. Now, you're going to notice this seems like a really doable swim. But the dolphin is actually time skipping you across lots of the ocean. This is like 5 screens, and you die at like 4. So like you will never make it to shore if you try to swim it. And here we are. And you have to wait for the dolphin to leave, and he won't come back, and you can't get back inside the well, so you can't go back there. So that's one of the dead ends. If you don't get the bridle, you can't go back and get it. Alright, so we have everything we need to abduct a unicorn and give it to an evil person. It's funny, myths about the unicorn. I'm just going to toss that out there, involve virgins being the only ones that can get close to them and everything, but Rosella here had to shoot it with a love arrow. Interesting thought. Alright, so we're over here with the unicorn, and we're going to put bridle on the unicorn. Right in his face. As the beautiful unicorn offers no resistance, you gently place the golden bit into its mouth and fit the bridle and reins over its majestic head. The unicorn looks at you with curiosity. Why are you doing this? Well, I'm about to take you to a horrible place. Ride the unicorn. Up we get. You nimbly mount the magnificent unicorn, grab the golden reins, and set off toward Lalote's castle. And she rides side saddle. She climbed up on the side closest to us, but her legs are on the opposite side, so she kind of leapt over the unicorn, but you cannot mount the unicorn from the other side, just so you know. And oh, gotta love this unicorn, I don't have to walk up the hill. It's super great. That unicorn will never trip and fall. It knows exactly what it's doing. Don't mind the crinkling sound that you're about to hear. I'm going to drink some water. The unicorn seems paralyzed with fear at the sight of you might be innocent after all, but not quite. Uh-oh, this doesn't sound good, you think? Lalote continues. I am desirous of the hen that lays the golden eggs. Currently the hen is kept by the ogre and his wife. Bring me the hen, and you shall have your freedom and a great reward. Take her away, Lalote orders her goons. And they carry me by my arms. It's awful. They're not even holding on with two hands, it's just one hand each. Alright, so we're gonna hit save, and we're gonna save this as live stream 1 again. And I think this is where we're going to end it for the night, because I've been on here with you for like an hour. So I'll release you for the evening, and okay, that's never going to stop making that noise. So we're going to hit quit, so this should close it down naturally for us, so I don't have to fight with it. Alright, okay, here we go. Up I get. I'm gonna go to that, and I'm gonna hit stop. Because I've been on here with you for like an hour. So I'll release you for the evening, and